Okay, so now that E3 has ended, I'm kind of looking back over some of the presentations and news that came out from the show, and one thing in particular that stood out to me was Nintendo's showing that I mentioned had a lot of games that were showcased there that are coming out in like the next 6 months. Basically, Nintendo went out there this past week and just kind of wanted to lay out the rest of 2021, and I have to say, they certainly loaded it up with a ton of games, but there is something missing here that I feel like a lot of people are expecting, and we're going to go over all of that here today. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton, and if new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below and ring the little notification bell so you can keep up to date on all of the uploads that go up on the channel. So let's head over here. This is a chart that was made up by I Eat Dragons over on Reddit. They had done one before that we went over, so I'll link to that Reddit post down in the description if you want to kind of go over this yourself. But essentially, what they have done here is taken all of the different titles by their logos and broken them up into the month that they're coming out. And when you really lay it out like this, you start to realize, wow, there are actually a lot of games coming out for the Switch between now and really the beginning of December with that Advanced Wars release. But something I noticed as I was looking through this is that Nintendo has an exclusive game for the platform of some kind coming out every month up until like the end of the year with December. So let's actually go over those here. I mean, starting in June, obviously we're already a little more than halfway through the month now. So some of these games are already out, but you also have like Mario Golf that's coming up. And then like Disgaea 6. And we've had other games already released, obviously, with like Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. But like right off the bat, June is pretty good. But then we get into July. We have like Neo, The World Ends With You, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword HD, which obviously has seen some controversy around, one, the price, and that's... I mean, it's Skyward Sword, so it's not like the best 3D Zelda game, but it's certainly a 3D Zelda game that a lot of people have not played. So Nintendo said, well, we're going to move it up, and we're just going to get 60 for it. So, but I'll be checking that one out because I was not as high on Skyward Sword on the Wii because of those motion controls. So I'm going to revisit it next month on the Switch and see how they were able to map those motion controls to like the stick and the buttons. And then we have Monster Hunter Stories 2 coming to the system. And Ys 9 is a game I really enjoyed on the PlayStation, so that's one that I recommend absolutely checking out. But you can see like July is strong. Then we get into August, which has No More Heroes 3. So, I mean, you can see right off the bat, there's Mario Golf in June, there's Legend of Zelda in July alongside of Monster Hunter Stories 2, and now we're on to No More Heroes 3. So right away, over the next, this month and then into July and August, they already have several exclusives lined up for the platform. But No More Heroes 3, they did gameplay for it, and, I mean, it looks interesting, but it certainly looks like a game that could use that fabled Switch Pro. It looks kind of blurry, and when they had, like, the open area that you could walk around in, and they quickly loaded out of it, there were some serious frame drops. So I'm hoping it comes out and it's in better shape than that early build that they showed in the Treehouse. But then we go into September, and there's WarioWare Get It Together, which a lot of people are excited for WarioWare, so that'll be, I'm sure, a fun $50 game for people to check out. Sonic Colors Ultimate, it'll be good to see Sonic Colors get a nice remaster there. I'll be checking that one out again because I played it on the Wii, but I think that is a game that could look really, really good on something like the PlayStation 5 or the Series X in 4K, but it's also on the Switch. Hot Wheels Unleashed that's on all platforms, but that one's quietly been kind of rolling along under the radar with some very interesting looking gameplay clips that they've put out. And then like Diablo 2 Resurrected. I mean, we've had Diablo on the Switch already, and it was very well done, a good port. So Diablo 2 actually on the Switch could be really interesting to see. And then we get into October and November, which is going to be a pretty good string of about 60 days for Nintendo, as they're going to have Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and then Shin Megami Tensei 5 all releasing in that time. And the big test is going to be Metroid Dread, because Metroid's never sold that well, and there's a lot of excitement around Dread, which a lot of it has to do with kind of its history. Right, it's been a long time, first of all, since we've had a brand new 2D Metroid, like 19 years, but Dread's been talked about for over 15 years now. It became like urban legend status, so we're going to see how well Metroid can sell a brand new Metroid game on the Switch, a system that continues to sell first-party games hand over fist right now. I mean, we're seeing games like Super Mario Party, which had no business selling as much as it did for the lack of support that it had post-launch, and it sold like 14 or 15 million copies. So you see Metroid Dread, then you see, of course, Mario Party Superstars, that should do very, very well, even though it's not a game that people are going to, get super hyped through the ceiling, kind of thing. It's still going to be a game that I think will do well based on what we've seen Super Mario Party sell like. And this is going to be pulling from boards that people are going to have some nostalgia attached to as well from like the Nintendo 64. So that should do, I think, well enough. And then obviously Pokemon, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I mean, let's face it, Pokemon sells every single time there's a new release like this. It's the Diamond and Pearl remakes that people wanted, but not necessarily like this, as it still kind of has that top-down, kind of old-school looking sprites and character models and all of this. But it's Pokemon. Let's face it, it's going to sell. If anything, controversy around Pokemon seems to have it sell more copies. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 isn't going to move massive amounts of copies, but it's variety, and obviously there are some big-time Shin Megami fans out there that are probably just happy to see this game finally releasing after it was shown when the Switch was like debuted during that January press conference that they held. It's been that long, so it's good to see it finally coming out. And then December, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. That's one that I'm interested to see how it performs. I am curious because we've already seen some reaction to Metroid Dread, a brand new Metroid game with a $60 price tag. So I'm kind of thinking Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp may have a similar reaction in that people might not make a big deal about it online, but I think people might just bypass it for now at that price with Advanced Wars. Either way, though, I'll be checking that one out because I do enjoy Advanced Wars, but I can at least see where people are coming from with that versus Metroid Dread, which is a brand new 2D Metroid that people have been asking for forever now, and it's Metroid Dread. And then we have a bunch of games here that don't have release dates yet, like Evil Dead the game, there's Cruisin' Blast, Danganronpa, Disco Elysium, that'll be a good one to see drop on the Switch, Crisis Remastered Trilogy, Fatal Frame, Temtem, which, I mean, that's been out for a bit on other platforms, and that actually makes sense to drop on the Switch, considering, I mean, it's basically Pokemon, right? So, but then like Digimon Survive, which I forgot about Digimon Survive. That has probably had some serious issues in development with COVID and remote work and all these different things throwing it off. So I'm hoping when that does eventually get shown that it ends up being good, at least for Digimon. We'll see. And then one of my most anticipated games is Turtles Shredder's Revenge, because it looks phenomenal in the gameplay that they've shown. Certainly some Turtles in Time, some Hyperstone Heist vibes from that one. And then obviously beyond this, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus, which that's almost 2021. I mean, it's the end of January in 2022. So that'll come up pretty quick. And then like Silk Song, Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3. So not only have they set up this year really well, but I mean, I think 2022 is going to be very, very strong, maybe even stronger than this for Nintendo, considering the one thing I feel like they are missing from this year is some sort of big holiday title. I know they have Pokemon, that, that's going to be a game that's going to sell well, but like something really impactful, like Breath of the Wild 2. Like if that had come out this holiday, that would have been big. Or like some sort of Mario Odyssey sequel, or just another big time 3D Mario game. That's something that I'm surprised Nintendo didn't have ready for 2021. But the other thing that they are kind of missing, and everyone noticed it during the presentation, is something to go along with the Legend of Zelda anniversary. Because they did a lot for Mario, technically. I mean, they had the Mario All-Stars, 3D All-Stars collection, then they also had Bowser's Fury to follow up, but they kind of avoided this topic during this last Direct. If you notice, they talked about it very briefly with that Game & Watch that's also dropping here in November, but that was about it. They said they didn't have any other games planned, and I've thought about this a bit, and I realized that Mario 3D All-Stars wasn't announced until like a month before it came out. In like what's the September Mario Direct that they did. There's still a possibility that we get a Legend of Zelda Direct of some kind towards like the fall. and they announced something like Wind Waker Twilight Princess remasters, a double pack coming to the Switch with, like, let's face it, limited release window. I'm sure that's something Nintendo is considering right now, so maybe they'll also throw Ocarina of Time HD or something in there. But I think that's still a possibility that they do that. Or maybe it's just a Twitter drop. It's strange to me that an IP like The Legend of Zelda, that's been obviously historic for Nintendo, dating back to the 80s alongside of like Mario and Metroid and all this, wouldn't get a big treatment for its anniversary throughout the holiday period coming up. Even like a special edition Switch, or like there's a lot of things they could do that I'm sure everyone's thinking of. It's just weird that Nintendo is going to end it with like Skyward Sword HD and a Game & Watch, and that's kind of it. Either way, though, looking through this list, it's very clear Nintendo did a good job kind of filling out the rest of their 2021 with this E3 presentation. A lot of games coming out pretty close together, and some sort of exclusive title every month now going towards the end of this year. So let me know what you guys think about this list here. Certainly a lot of variety, and let me know which game you're looking forward to the most here as we go towards the end of 2021. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.